I was saying to myself, this technology does not work well in the extreme weather. And I was like, I should use the camera I just bought instead of using my phone. Because for my races, I use an action camera, and I should use that. But I'm like, I don't know if any technology is going to work in 101 degree temperature. So I better get this show on the road. But anyway, this is the second or third time I'm trying to record this video. But one of my clients has had the best week in the program over the last 3 weeks. She's going into week 4. And last week we had talked about really her following the meal plan. She had lost, a few pounds, but she wasn't really getting the progress that she thought she was getting. And what I noticed was she wasn't really following the meal plan that I created for her the way it was laid out. So I told her our focus this week is to really lock in and follow the meal plan the way it's laid out. It's laid out the way it's laid out for a reason. And we set a goal. We said, okay, this week we want to lose 3 to 4 pounds and or 1% body fat. So she had been, I think the first week she had lost a pound. The second week she had lost like 1.5 pounds or something like that. But this last week, week 3, after we had that talk, she had a breakthrough week. Now, it wasn't just what the talk we had last week that led her to that breakthrough week, but it was a talk that her husband had with her, who is also in the program, who is getting amazing results. He does everything I asked him to do, the way I asked him to do it. And he said to her, well, if you're gonna commit, you gotta fully commit. And he called her out on all of her snacking that she does. And I said to her, a lot of times it's mindless snacking, mindless eating, where you're not really thinking about it, but you're doing it. And she told me that because I said to her, because this past week, over this last week after we had a talk and her husband called her out, she lost a little over 3.5 pounds and she lost a little bit over 0.5% body fat. So she said the biggest things that led to that result was the talk we had last Wednesday, and then her husband confirming and validating that by telling her, look, if you're going to commit, you got to commit all the way 100%. You got to follow that meal plan the way it's laid out. You got to stop with all the little snacks here and the little snacks there. And she said, well, it really wasn't that big, that bad of snacks. I said, but the problem is it's one little snack here, and then it's one little snack there, and then it's one here, and then one there. And all those little snacks add up to a lot. And she said this week she really locked in, she really focused, and that was the thing that made the biggest difference. So all those little things that you do that you think don't matter, yes, they matter. I tell my clients, if it has calories in it and you put it in your mouth, it counts. You need to log it, you need to track it because it matters. So my client finally decided she was gonna follow the plan the way I laid it out for her. Her husband, who was also on the program getting amazing results, confirmed that by calling her out. Sometimes you need those people around you that are not going to just, tell you what you want to hear. You need those people around you that are going to tell you what you need to hear. And that's the way I am with my clients. I'm not just going to tell you what you want to hear and make it all sound good and make it all sound, no. If you're not doing what I'm asking you to do, I'm going to tell you. So I told this client, her husband confirmed it, and she had the best week with a little over a 3.5 pound weight loss and I think 0.7% body fat loss. So just under a full percent body fat loss. So let me know down below what you think about this. Let me know if you've ever experienced this or you're struggling. And if you are struggling and you need help, click the first link below in the description. Fill out the form. I'm talking fast because I got to get it before this camera overheats. Fill out the form in the description and you and I can figure out what we need to do to get you from where you're at to where you want to be.